Meet the Ant Queen. I've just released her into this custom-built forest. Over the next 100 days, we will witness whether she can overcome the odds and establish a thriving ant empire within this challenging and unpredictable new habitat. Day 1. I began by preparing the soil and sowing seeds. As first sprouts emerged, the queen, she quickly scouted the terrain, eventually discovering a secure location to begin excavating her nest and building her new empire. An array of new life emerged rapidly, from beetle larvae and snails to millipedes and crickets. The first generation of ants arrived. Meanwhile, the destructive cricket population was continuously biting and disrupting the fragile balance of the entire ecosystem. They were the ultimate troublemakers. To restore order, I introduced a Bell Enigma gecko. As an active predator, he wasted no time, successfully stalking and taking down his first target. However, with the cricket population still surging, I decided to add a curly-haired tarantula. This formidable arachnid immediately began patrolling the shadows, hunting down the remaining pests. By day 40, the ant population surged. The first workers ventured out to forage, passing a gentle millipede before being blocked by a massive spider. Instead of retreating, the colony launched a fierce counterattack. Facing this unexpected aggression, the giant predator panicked and was forced to flee into the shadows. By day 52, the foliage flourished and the colony teemed with life. On the surface, everything followed a natural rhythm. However, beneath the lush canopy, subtle shifts were occurring. Predators grew stronger, creeping through the undergrowth with increasing boldness, gradually destabilizing the fragile ecosystem. The ants seemed to sense this looming danger. Deep underground, the workers labored with a new sense of urgency, reinforcing their tunnels and sealing their nests more firmly than ever before. It was as if the entire colony had collectively realized that a major threat was gathering just beyond their gates. Above the surface, the vegetation flourished far more aggressively than expected. To manage this overgrowth, I introduced a grasshopper to prune back the dense foliage. It began working immediately, thinning out the greenery to keep the interior space open and airy. Below ground, the queen remained diligent, tirelessly tending to her brood to ensure the colony's continued expansion. Meanwhile, the workers were a constant blur of motion, hunting prey, stockpiling vital resources, and reinforcing their tunnels. The entire nest was growing more powerful and more populous, steadily evolving to dominate every inch of this challenging new environment. Everything remained remarkably peaceful. Lush greenery blanketed the tank as the animals coexisted quietly, without conflict or confrontation. It seemed as if life was still operating perfectly within the controlled limits of this miniature world. It became clear that I had introduced too many herbivores, causing the ecosystem to spiral out of balance. Foliage was being consumed at an alarming rate, and the young plants simply couldn't grow fast enough to recover. I had to intervene. First, I introduced a house lizard, a swift and efficient hunter. To escalate the tension, I also added a sun skink, a fast, highly aggressive predator. The moment they entered the environment, the atmosphere shifted, and both lizards instantly began their hunt to restore order. It seems my plan has completely backfired. Instead of hunting the grasshoppers as I originally intended, the skink shifted its focus towards the ants that were out foraging. Several unlucky workers strayed directly into its lethal hunting range, and the predator struck with lightning speed. To the skink, these were no longer just tiny insects, but a moving feast. However, at that critical moment, a single worker ant stood her ground. With a fierce and direct charge, she launched a bold counterattack. This sheer display of aggression startled the skink, stripping away its advantage and causing the predator to panic. Terrified by the tiny warrior's defiance, the lizard turned and fled to safety. The first rainfall finally arrived, saturating leaves and soaking the thirsty ground. Almost instantly, the atmosphere transformed, becoming noticeably softer and significantly cooler. As the downpour subsided, a surge of activity returned to the forest floor. The inhabitants emerged from their shelters one after another to revel in the change. Crickets, the gecko, and millipedes appeared in unison, basking in the rare, refreshing air that followed the storm. They began wandering through the damp undergrowth, enjoying the cool humidity while seizing the perfect opportunity to forage for food after their long period of hiding. This brief moment of tranquility provided a much-needed respite for every creature within the ecosystem. Day 100. The habitat has flourished exactly as envisioned. Lush greenery blankets the space. The ecosystem operates with newfound clarity, and the ant colony has grown into a dense, stable powerhouse. Every inhabitant within the tank finally seems to have discovered its rightful place within this thriving, self-sustaining world. Despite this success, I knew the time had come to reveal the hidden truth. I needed to uncover exactly what had been unfolding beneath the soil during these past 100 days. If you want to watch the next videos about this ant colony and miniature ecosystem, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel.